everyone, welcome to Lakeview Maker. My name's Danielle and today we're going to do an amazing crochet amigurumi tutorial for this guy. This is Sippy the Teacup and we're going to do a video explaining how to make this.
If you need any help with any crochet basics, check out our how-to videos on this channel and comment below if you get stuck on anything. The full list of everything you'll need is in the description of this video, and check out my website if you want to buy the pattern.
We're going to do the main body of this teacup. So we get our blue yarn and we do a magic circle. Now to do a magic circle, you grab your yarn, you twist and you cross over, you grab your hook, you go under the first strand, over the second, twist the hook, pull back up, and then we're going to chain one to secure it. So we have chained one, and that's a magic circle. So we're going to do 6 single crochets in the magic circle. To do a single crochet, we put our hook in the circle, yarn over and pull that yarn through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, we've done our 6 single crochets, so I'm going to pull this closed and then we're going to do round 2. So for round 2 we need to increase into every stitch. So we push our hook through the first stitch, pull through the yarn and then pull through 2. So that is our first stitch, so we're going to mark this. If you are marking stitches, you don't have to use a stitch marker, you can always use some kind of hair grip. So to do an increase, I go back into the stitch I was just in and do another single crochet, and that's an increase. So pause the video, increase into every stitch all the way around until you have 12 stitches, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've now done round 2 and we have 12 stitches, so we're going to do round 3. So round 3 we're going to do a single crochet and then we're going to do an increase. Now this is going to be a repeating pattern, so do a single crochet and then an increase 5 more times after this until you get to the very end of the round. So pause the video, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we finished round 3 and now we're going to do round 4. And like the previous round, this is going to be another repeating pattern. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets and then an increase. So like before, repeat it all the way round until you get to the end, and you should have 24 stitches. So feel free to pause the video, get all the way around, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, that's round 4 all done, so let's do round 5. So for round 5, we're going to do 3 single crochets and then an increase, which is the same sort of repeat that we've done before. So repeat that all the way around, 3 single crochets and an increase, and when you get to the end of the round, come back, having paused, and we'll do the next round together. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we've done round 5 and we're going to do round 6. Now to stop everything looking too hexagonal, we're going to change up the order of this next repeat slightly. So for round 6, we start with the increase and then we do 4 single crochets. So there's my increase, and then I'm going to do 4 single crochets. So pause the video, repeat that all the way around, and you will have 36 stitches. So I'll see you in a second. So for round 7 to 9, all we're going to do is single crochet into every stitch. So feel free to pause the video, get those rows done, and as everything will start to curl upwards, make sure that this side is on the outside, this side is on the inside, and it'll start to look more of a cup shape. So pause the video, get all the way around. I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've now finished round 9, so we're going to do round 10. And this will be another increased row. As you can see, we've got a nice little bowl shape. So for round 10, we're going to start with the increase. So that's 1, 2, and then we're going to do 5 single crochets. So repeat this pattern all the way around, increase and then 5 single crochets. Pause the video, I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've done round 10 and we should have 42 stitches. Now for rounds 11 to 14, we're just going to single crochet in every stitch. This will just build up the body of the teacup. So pause this video, do all of the rows, and I'll see you then. Okay, we finished round 14, so we're now going to do the last round, which is round 15. And for round 15, we are just going to slip stitch into every stitch. So that's insert and pull through, and then just pull through the loop again. And I'm going to mark this. So yeah, slip stitch all the way around. So pause the video, get to the end, and we'll finish this off together. See you in a second. Okay, we've finished our last slip stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a tail, and we want it to be fairly long because we're going to use it to sew the T in place and close everything up. Okay, so grab our yarn and we pull through this stitch, take off our stitch marker, and then quickly I'm going to close up my stitch so that it looks like it's just a continuation. So I'm going to push through here and through there. Kept it on and out the back. Okay, and there you can see, not too easy to see the join, and we can do the rest of this. So I'll see you in the next part. Okay, so we are going to now make the saucer for this cup of tea. So to make the saucer, we have to start with a magic circle. So the first round, we're going to do 6 single crochets in the magic circle. Okay, we've done our 6 single crochets, so we're going to pull to tighten, and now we're going to do round 2. So for round 2, we need to increase into every stitch. So as you've seen before, we do 1 single crochet, we mark it, and then we do another single crochet in the same stitch. So pause the video, increase in every stitch until you come back with 12, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've now finished round 2, so we're going to do round 3. Now round 3 is going to be a repeat So if we do this, we're going to do 1 single crochet, which I'm going to mark, and then we do an increase. So 1, 2, and as I said, this is a repeat, so you have to do 1 single crochet and an increase all the way round. So we do that 5 more times until you get to the end. You'll have 18 stitches then. So pause the video, get all the way round. I'll see you in a second. Okay, we're going to do round 4 now. So round 4 is another repeating pattern, but this time we're going to do 2 single crochets and an increase. So you have to just repeat that pattern all the way around a total of 6 times, and then once you've done that, come back and we will do the next round together. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've now done round 4, so we're going to do round 5. Now round 5 is going to be slightly different. So we're going to be doing this in the front loops only, and you look at the anatomy of the stitch, you have the back loop and the front loop. So for the next round, we're going to do 3 single crochets and then an increase only in the front loops of all the stitches. So pause the video, repeat the pattern, 3 single crochets and an increase, come back and we'll do the next round. Okay, we've now done round 5. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a lip and we now have 30 stitches. So let's do round 6. Round 6, we're just going to change up the order of the repeat, and this will be normal completely underneath both loops. So we start with an increase and then we do 4 single crochets. So repeat this pattern, an increase and then 4 single crochets all the way around till you get to the end. You should end up with 36 stitches. So pause the video, I'll see you in a second. Okay, we finished round 6, so now we're going to do round 7. And round 7 is going to be 5 single crochets and then an increase. Again, swapping round the order of the increase versus single crochet just to keep everything quite round. So repeat, 5 single crochets and increases all the way around. Pause to do that and then come back so we can do the next round together. Okay, we're now on the second to last round. So for round 8, we're going to do an increase and then 6 single crochets. So this should be the last increase round. Pause the video, do an increase and 6 single crochets all the way around, and then we'll finish everything up. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've finished round 8, so now we're going to do round 9. So round 9 is very simple. We're just going to slip stitch into every stitch. So just insert your hook and pull through both loops. Let's do that again. Insert into the next one, pull through, pull through. So we're just going to do that all the way around, and the reason we're doing that is because we've got our ridge here for our saucer, and this should mean that everything sort of curves upwards and doesn't just sit flat. So slip stitch all the way around, pause the video, I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've now finished stitching the saucer, so I'm going to cut a tail and pull this through. I'm going to take off the stitch marker and then just use the needle to weave in my ends. So I like to push it through the first stitch and back just to make it look like everything's one continuous line, and then I'll just weave everything in and cut off this tail because you also don't need it, and that means you will finish the saucer. So I'll see you in the next part. Okay, so we are going to make the tea now to put in the saucer. So to make the tea, we're going to start with a magic circle. And then we're going to do 6 single crochets in the magic circle. Okay, now that we've done our 6 stitches, we're going to pull the circle closed, and then we're going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet that we did. Okay, that's round 1. So for round 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to increase in all the stitches. So 1, 2, that's 1 increase. So if you'd like, feel free to pause the video, increase in every stitch, make sure you mark the first single crochet you do, not the chain. Get all the way around. I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've increased into every single stitch, and now we need to slip stitch into the very first single crochet that we marked, ignoring that chain that we did in the beginning. And that's round 2. So for round 3, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet and an increase. As you've done before, this is a repeating pattern. So single crochet and increase 6 times all the way around, and then when you get to the end, you're going to slip stitch into this very first stitch we marked, ignoring the chain. So pause the video. I'll see you in a second. Okay, we finished round 3. We're now on to round 4. So round 4, we chain 1, and then we do 2 single crochets and an increase. We've done 1, 2, so feel free to pause this video, repeat this all the way around, slip stitch into the very first single crochet, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've done round 4 and we should have 24 stitches, so we're going to do round 5, and you might see a pattern emerging, but round 5 you chain 1 and then you do 3 single crochets and an increase. So feel free to pause this video, do 3 single crochets and an increase all the way around, and I'll see you in a second. Don't forget to slip stitch into the very first stitch. Okay, we finished round 5, so time for round 6, and much like the other rounds, round 6 we chain 1 and then we do 4 single crochets and an increase. Pause the video, do 4 single crochets and an increase all the way around till you get to the end, and then slip stitch into the very first single crochet we did. And I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're now going to do round 7, and round 7 is 5 single crochets and an increase. Again, repeat that, so pause the video, 5 single crochets and an increase all the way around, and then slip stitch into the first stitch. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've now finished round 7. We have 42 stitches, and this is the last part that's going to be visible from the outside. And if you have, you can see it more clearly at the back, if you have a little curvy sort of spiral coming in because of the seams, you're doing it completely correct. I'm only telling you this because sometimes I've looked at patterns and gone, what, is this right? I can't tell from the photo. So yes, if you have that little spiral, that is completely right. So let's do round 8. So round 8, we chain 1. And now for this round, we're going to be working in the back loops only. So the anatomy of each stitch is you've got a front loop and a back loop. So we're going to be going into the back loop, and we're going to single crochet in every stitch going all the way around. And as we've done before, we're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch, ignoring the chain we did. So pause the video, go all the way around in the back loops, single crochet, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've finished round 8, and as you can see, we now have a lip on our T, so you can push that back, and we'll do round 9, which is the last round. So if we chain 1 and then back to the normal way of doing single crochets, we're going to single crochet all the way around. So make sure instead of just the back loops, you go back to underneath both. Okay? So pause the video, single crochet and everything. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we finished round 9. So we're going to cut a tail. And we'll pull through. And the reason we've created this lip is because we're going to use it to be able to sew the tea as a lid onto the main body of the teacup easily, because we can just sort of catch this as we sew around. So last thing to do is to use this end and weave it in. This one can stay there because it can go in the main body of the teacup. So I'm going to weave in my ends. I'll see you in the next part. Okay, we're now going to make the handle, and this is very easy. So we've got to do a slip stitch. If you're not sure how to do a slip stitch, feel free to check out our YouTube channel. I explain how to do it there very simply. So to start, we do chains, and we're going to chain 15. Going to turn our work, and we're going to do single crochets all the way back down, and that's essentially the tail. So what we need to do is we're going to go in the back of these stitches. So we have the front loop and the back loop, but we also have little bumps at the back. These are what we're going to go into. So we're going to go for the second chain from the hook. So we ignore here and we go into this back. Just this little bump at the back of the stitch, and we just single crochet. So feel free to pause this, single crochet 15 into the bumps at the back, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, that's 15 single crochets. So we're going to cut a tail. It's going to make it long enough for us to sew everything in. And pull this through. There we go. So we'll leave these tails for when we finish everything up. So I'll see you in the next part. Okay, so we have our cup. So what we're going to do before we do anything else is we're going to decorate the rim of this, and then everything can happen around it. So I'm going to grab my cream yarn. So if we tie a knot at the end, just to keep everything secure, we're going to make sure we start stitching where you can see the beginning of the round was, and we're going to be sewing a zigzag pattern around the top. So we're going to do this over the top of row 12. So, and row 12 is essentially just one row from the slip stitch. So we're going to start in row 12 and we're going to leave a gap where this is, because not only are the rounds not really going to match up, but also we can put the handle there and that will cover it. So if we insert our needle, pull through, and then we are going to insert into the stitch and then back out. And then back where we came. And yeah, just sew a zigzag, make sure you don't pull too tight, and just follow the lines of the stitches that you're doing. So you can see that they've all got small V shapes. You're essentially just going to go over those V shapes with the cream yarn. So feel free to pause the video until you get very close to the end. Leave a gap of maybe 3 stitches for you to place the handle. So pause the video, I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've finished going all the way around. As you can see, I've left a gap here, and that will be where the handle goes. So I'm going to tie a knot in my cream thread and cut off the tail. I decided to just stuff the tail in the body of the teacup because it's going to get filled anyway. So now we're going to put the eyes on, and we've got our safety eyes. We're going to make sure that this gap is on the right hand side because that's where the handle will go. So we want our eyes between rows 9 and 10. So that's 12, 11, 10, 9. And we need to put them in such a way that they're roughly 4 to 5 stitches apart, and in a way that is aesthetically pleasing. Okay, I'm happy with the placement, so I'm going to put the backs on. Okay, we have our eyes in place, and now we're going to put on the facial features. So I'm going to grab some pink yarn and we're going to do the cheeks. We're going to do the cheeks with French knots. If you don't know how to do French knots, I would recommend looking at our YouTube video, How to Do French Knots, because that will explain it and it will repeat it over and over again. So we want to do some rosy cheeks for this little cup of tea. And we're going to do them on the bottom outside edge. So make sure you insert your needle through the yarn, not just through a hole, because otherwise the French knot won't stay where it's meant to be. So pull up, and then we wrap our yarn twice around our needle and push it back in the hole we were in, and make sure to keep this tight. And there's one French knot, so we go to the other side. We're going to wrap it twice, insert our needle, pull everything quite tight, and here we have the little cheeks. So I'm going to tie this off and then push the end into the body of the teacup. Okay, and to make the mouth, we're going to use a small amount of black yarn. I'm going to tie a knot at the end. And we're just going to do a nice little V shape in between the eyes for its mouth. So we're going to push our needle through. Here's our little mouth. So again, we tie this off and then push it into the body of the teacup. So now what we do, okay, so we're going to make a rim around this. We're going to use some blue yarn, and it has to be between rounds 3 and 4, going all the way around. So we're going to start near the join, only because I'll show you, you've got to make sure that you keep everything in the right place. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to insert my hook underneath like this. I'm going to pull through. I'm going to chain 1. And as I said, we're going to slip stitch all the way around. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go into this stitch. Pull through and pull through. We'll deal with the tail later. So 1, 2, 3. So we want to go into here and out the other side. And we're going to pull through and pull through. If you don't want to, you don't have to do this bit. If you're looking at this going, oh God, it's fine. I just quite like the way it gives a little rim. So we're going to go into where we were, pull through to the next. Pull through. And just keep going round. So 1, 2, 3. And just make sure you're following the row all the way around. So feel free to pause, get this done, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, we've gone all the way around. We've stopped at where we started. So I'm going to cut a tail, pull it through, and then we just have to sew the ends in. I'm going to use do the same thing I did around the rim to finish off this circle. So I'm going to insert underneath the chain we made first, and then back into where we were. Now I'm just going to weave the ends. Okay, we've done everything we need to do before we stuff this, so I'm going to grab some stuffing. I'm going to stuff this. Make sure it's fairly tight if you want this to really fill out, and also don't forget that this will compress down as time goes on. We're going to grab our T that we made. I'm going to put it on top like a lid. So grab this and push it down. If you think you've got too much stuffing, feel free to take some out. This is not exact. So what we're aiming for is that you should be able to see the top white line of the zigzags, and that's where you're going to sew the T in place. And you've made this lip so that that's what we can grip onto while we're sewing. So we're going to use our blue yarn because this will be visible from the outside. We'll thread our needle. So what we're going to aim for is we're going to aim so that we just go across the bottom here, essentially with running stitches to hold everything in place, and we catch the lip of this with each running stitch. So I'm going to go down, up this hole here, and as I go I'll just push this down and it should keep it in place. And with luck, it shouldn't be too visible. Okay, so continue to sew all the way around. For good measure, I do tend to sew all the way around twice, sort of looser the second time. And sew your T in place. So, pause the video, sew all the way around till you get to the end, and we'll finish this off together. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so the last thing we need to do for this little guy is attach the handle. So we're going to get our needle and thread it. And as I probably said before, we're going to do it in this little gap that we've left for the white decoration. So we're just going to sew it through here and just go back over it a couple of times just to make sure that everything stays in place. And we'll also need to sew in this as well, but hopefully this piece should be long enough to do the bottom. We've now woven in the tail, and you just need to form the handle to whatever shape you like, and you have finished your little teacup. So congratulations. I hope you enjoyed doing this along with me. We'd love to see what you've done. So if you want to go on our Instagram page and tag us in a picture, or post it to our Facebook page, it would be amazing to see all your lovely creations. If you enjoyed this as well, please feel free to leave us a review on our website. We would really appreciate that. Thank you again. Bye.